Hello from Kirksville, Missouri. Good afternoon. And this is Randy Curvin. And this is Rant Randy's Rant for a Thursday. Uh, First off, I want to tell you the show is brought to you by Hearing Care Partners of Kirksville, Missouri. I got a call this morning from Hearing Care Partners about my checkup as far as getting my hearing aids cleaned. I explained at that time that my left one was broken. The wire had come loose from the speaker that goes in the ear, and I told them that I couldn't afford it. That's usually $25 when you go in. They wanted an early appointment. I had one for Monday, but they wanted to do it early because that wasn't convenient for them. I explained I couldn't afford it at this time, but as soon as I could and things got better, I would give them a call back. I had no more hung up. I see all you people are showing up. This is great. Early turnout for it. Hello, Bernadette. Hello, Sherry. Hello, Beverly. Hello, Karen. Hello, Dave. And of course, I said hello to Carol earlier. Uh, as I was explaining, no sooner had I hung up, couldn't have been a minute later, they gave me a call back and said that since I was having problems with the one hearing aid, they would see me and fix that for nothing. No fee for the cleaning and all that. I went on in and I wish I could have shown you. I did another retake of the photo, but evidently that didn't take either. I did some editing to talk about mail-in ballot fraud with no proof. And basically, this is because of Bethy Brown. I made this, and it hooks to my ears. It's made out of a sock, and it works very well along with my rubber gloves when I do go out. So, uh, as I was going in to the Goose and Son Clinic, where Hearing Care Partners are located, uh, they had to take my temperature. I had no temperature. Went on, got all that done. Usually that would be going by when I was accidentally wearing my wife's when I went for a checkup. Uh, the one wire for this, her left one, was $100 plus the $25 for cleaning both hearing aids. Today it would have been $225, and they didn't charge me a cent. So that's the reason I said it was an advertisement for Hearing Care Partners of Kirksville, Missouri, because uh, those people, bless them, I couldn't afford it. I was wearing Grace's left one for now. Now I've got both, and they are both fully working like they originally did. It's wonderful to be able to hear correctly through both ears. All right, let's get down to it. Got to beat the hell out of this man. Uh, and as I was saying, uh, mail in ballot fraud. The man votes that way because you remember he changed his residence from New York to Florida after he got in office. So he's waiting on his ballots where he can vote that way, but it's not right for anybody else to do that. Oh, asshole. And Jim Acosta uh, confronted him with it, and he was talking about, I think This organization is a right-wing organization called Judicial Watch. Said there was a million votes that were improper, I guess in 2018 out of California. And the states that have mail-in right now are 5 states that are not going to be necessary to elect him president. Dumbass. And of course, you're supposed to accept that because he says so. I wanted to report some of the areas. Italy, Spain hit their peak in coronavirus, and France and Germany are close. Expected in the 3rd week of April, I believe they said, with Germany. Germany, though, will not have enough beds they say they will have enough beds in ICU beds. The UK, like the US, was slow to order stay at home. UK will not have enough beds in ICU beds. Sweden was also slow. Both peaks are a long ways off for them. And not only have I got this from Rachel, but a friend of mine was reporting about Gavin Newsom of California and what he is doing. I believe they sent out 50 ventilators or 150. I'm not quite sure on that. But also the man that was flying these ventilators was named Mark Benoff. So thanks goes out to them. I believe they are the heroes of this week. And true patriots. And that's the thing. States are leading this, and Donnie is still stuck on saying the states are supposed to take care of all testing. And that Dr. Ricks or whatever, Breeze or whatever her name is, was mistaken in what she was reporting, that Abbott Labs machines, which are all over the country, the problem was not they're broken. The problem is they've been overloaded. They can only do so many tests per day, and they are turning out those tests every day. So she was incorrect in what she said. Another thing was Dr. Fauci was not present again. And good news overall in New York. New cases are coming down over the past 4 days. And unfortunately, the deaths have gone up, but that's a good sign that they're not seeing a whole lot of new cases per day for the last 4 days. And I'll just go over this again. Jim Acosta asked where the evidence was about mail-in voting fraud, and that's when he went into California, had 1 million votes that were improper according to Judicial Watch. And Donnie the Doofus mentioned California, Hawaii, Oregon, and I believe 2 other states, and those aren't necessary. 6 states will decide whether he's president of the United States again. And none of these are even necessary for his victory. And his evidence to Jim Acosta was every state you mentioned was won by Democrats. That's the proof of fraud, because it was won by Democrats, when we all know when it comes to a fair fight, Democrats win when their vote is not suppressed because there are not enough right-wing conservatives to win elections, and they are well aware of it. That's why they suppress the vote, delete the vote, delete registrations, because they know they can't win if it's a fair fight. All right, let's see what else I got. All right, I got through all this bullshit from Donnie. He said something about the age was 115 years old, that they might still be alive, but somebody else was voting for them. Well, let's look back at that for a second. Donnie, what about North Carolina, where they had to redo the election because of the fraud on the Republican side, collecting ballots and changing people's votes? You want to talk about voter fraud? That was, and done by the Republicans. And I was thinking about it. I think he's so full of shit that they can smell the stink when he's up there on the podium. All right. Let's see what I got here for this page. Oh, the latest out of Arkansas. This is from Rachel. Arkansas will prevent stay-at-home orders from Arkansas city mayors. Kansas has an order, but the Republican legislature says no to not holding church services. That figures. If they can't kill you one way, they'll kill you with religion. And then I went on to this is a very important subject, and I'm seeing some blue dots, and this is concerning. Yesterday, Bernie Sanders got back to work in the Senate after announcing he's dropping out of the race and saying he will back the Democratic nominee and to unite to take back the White House. A lot of blue dots that were pulling for him, and I was at one point too. And I voted, would have voted for him in 2016. But I had to vote for Hillary because it would have been better than having Donnie there. And the same thing with Joe Biden is already doing a lot of things that Elizabeth Warren had wanted had she been able to continue in the race. So all I'm saying to you folks, you have to vote for Biden. Bernie has already said he will be working with Biden, and that will keep the movement alive. But if you don't vote, that's a vote for Trump. If you do vote and you vote for a Green Party candidate, that's a vote for Trump. The only way to go is what we have. So you must vote for Joe Biden. He can change things too. He's had this presidential race has changed his views a whole lot. All right, let's see what else we got. The federal government was exporting masks up to 1,000%, and importing went down. See, they're sending them to other countries, but because they can make money off of them. Damn that asshole. And we also found out, and I found this out a few minutes ago, 16.8 million filed unemployment in the last 3 weeks. Okay, I got that page. And that was kind of my last page. And I already covered this about the Abbott machines for testing. And then she said they weren't working. That's not true. So no wonder she was on the stage. She will lick his butt a little more than Dr. Fossey is not going to tell you anything but the truth. Even with dumbass over his shoulder. The blame game, perhaps, was coming from her yesterday. She said she started it out. They could have tested 100,000 healthcare workers, and yet, in some states, they report they didn't have enough tests. So how is that possible? If you can only turn out with each machine 140 tests per day, how in the hell could they have tested 100,000 healthcare workers? Just pure bull. And like I've called it, the task farce. The U.S. now owns the worst response to the pandemic in the world. Donnie Dumbass went on tweeting after his pep rally lying session saying mail-in voting is ripe for fraud. Voter fraud is very low in this country, and studies show it. Remember, he had a commission to check into voter fraud, and they had to shut down because they couldn't find any. The only time they found any was Republicans behind it. What he is saying is vote in person and endanger your life and your health. And quite frankly, when it comes to a lack of leadership, people will do what they have to if he excuse me, if he forces that on people, it will be like Wisconsin. People will get out and vote and endanger their lives to do it because they know how important it is to get this dumbass virus out of the White House. And I already told you the 5 states that he was shooting his mouth off about are not going to decide the election. And I found it amazing that states like Florida get anything they want: supplies, testing, hospitals, and they don't have mistakes with the orders. Wonder why. And the majority of Americans don't. Thanks to the majority of Americans don't listen to Donnie the dumbass. But those who do are making social distancing less powerful. I'm proud of the Hy-Vee that I went to earlier. We've already had TV dinners here at the house. That will be my last trip out. And as I showed with my mask, I now am able to do that. And I thank Bethy Brown for a short, I couldn't get any sound on the video that she sent me, but it was quite simple just to watch it and to construct that. The next one I make will probably be even better than the one I made. And thank you, Bethy, for that. Let's see. Oh, good, good. Page 3. And I've already done my talk about, like John said yesterday, you have to pick up the flag burning, people, and move forward. If we don't do that, we won't recognize the fascist mess that we will have over the next 4 years if that asshole gets back in office. We can't afford that. We will lose our country. As it stands, it'll take 16, 20 years to straighten out what we had before this dumbass got in there. And yesterday, Donnie was still refusing more testing when only a fraction of states testing have been done. You can't go back to work without more testing. He claims states are responsible for that. That they don't stand, the day before yesterday, they don't stand on street corners and do testing, the federal government. And I also found it interesting. No Trump has ever gone to war. None. None flown into the inferno like Dr. Ray, I believe his name is, of California, who volunteered and went to New York. He is an anesthesiologist, and he was expressing if you have medical experience, to get your butt to New York and help out. And that's what he did. He said the hardest part of that was explaining to his parents that he was flying into the inferno. But he went from California to New York to do so. And for us to reopen like the dummy wants, will take about 3.5 million Americans need to be tested a week before we can start thinking about reopening the country. And under this president, that ain't going to happen. Yesterday, a nurse, no, wait a minute, that was Tuesday's vote. A nurse in Milwaukee was turned away because she was standing in line and was 3.5 minutes late and prevented from voting after getting off her job and going there to do so. That's shameful. They could have kept it open till the end of the line, hit the door, and got in there and voted at 6 feet apart, endangering their lives. And like I said, while she was turned away, Donnie and his wife are waiting to get their mail-in absentee ballots for Florida. It's all right if he does it, but everybody else is ripe for fraud. And I already told you about the case in North Carolina where they had to hold another election because of the fraud that man was pulling. The Republican, I might add, was pulling. About all I've got for today. Like I said, it's wonderful to hear right again. I still can't see right again. Unfortunately, the ophthalmologist I had before retired, so I'm not going to get that kind of thing out of Walmart. I'm proud that you give me your time and spend it this way. I've got to beat this a couple more times for Bernadette. And I appreciate I am getting some response. And in fact, I thought what I would say today is a few bucks sent my way, lifts my morale, uh, and that few bucks can help out. Um, if any of you Blue Dots, you Blue Dot friends, PM me, I will give you my home address. Uh, that's the only safe way that I can do this. I don't know how much longer. It depends on how it goes in this state with testing, uh, and how many people start seriously looking at checking people's temperatures as they go in stores or any other interaction like that with the social distancing. I told them at the hearing care partners how much I appreciated the fact that they stopped me, asked me where I was going, and took my temperature before I came in. And then I got thanked as I came out past that desk. Uh, and like I said, I don't know how much longer. I think my PO box is up in May. They said they would send me a letter before that runs out. Um, but I don't know. Well, for example, I went yesterday and there was nobody in the parking lot or parked out front. So I was in the post office by myself when I showed up yesterday. Except, I didn't go in the end with the postal people working, but the other part was empty. They have a parking lot out back for the employees, so uh, that went well. But like I said, I don't want to. If I can add it to a trip for now to get the use out of my PO box, I will do so. I will be putting that meme out there. Like I said, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do it that way. If you're a friend, you can just PM me. I will give you my street address. That way, it's not out here like the other meme. Uh, so just, uh, give me a shout on PM and I'll be glad to give you the address. It is not a requirement. This is done for the Blue Dot family, uh, and we will get things done. We get truth to power out. That's what all of us speak about. We have to stay on them. We're also going to have to keep calling Congress. I hadn't had a chance today, but before the evening is out, I will leave them a message. I want to know where the hell is my money, because that damn asshole in the White House is going to try to keep it for himself, his family, for Mnuchin, for anybody else that wants a little money. He uh, already fired the independent watchdog to oversee by the Congress Commission, and they are busy. I heard Katie Porter last night talking about uh, the president of the airlines union is getting together with her, and they're putting a bill together. And they're also going to shortly name a commission out of Congress in the House that is going to he's going to be overseeing whether he likes it or not. And Katie and the president, the lady president of the union, airlines union, are going to put together another package that covers other workers. All workers should be covered to get help during this and help them keep their job. Just get them paid where we can get through this. All right, I will let you go at this time. I will be putting my PayPal information out there, both on YouTube and for my public feed. Uh, I sent this out today for a lot of different groups. So, but I think you people, you hunt me down, you find me, and I love you for it. All right, I'll let you go at this time. Wait a minute. Got to take care of this one more time. And if I could do that to him personally, I'd find some way to get to DC and beat the hell out of him. All right. Peace. Resist, persist, and insist. You call Congress at 202-224-3121 and find out what is holding up the money. We, the people, need it. We're going to be on the streets if they don't speed this shit up. All right. Have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow on my Friday Facebook show. I look forward to seeing you then. Share this shit. Get it out there. Like and share. We're up to 142 subscribers, which is about 4 more than we had last week. So the numbers are going back up. We're growing this thing on YouTube. And I thank you for your time. And listen to this old Georgia boy tell you what I have found out. Have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Cursor is getting hard to work on the corner of this laptop.